Welcome back to the Football Terrace. I'm joined by Lee Gunner. It's Straight Facts episode 2. How you doing, bro?
I'm very good, man. I'm very good. And looking forward to getting into this show, man. It's absolutely humid as hell here today. Like, it's been on and off spitting with rain for 2 days. Grey skies and humidity is about 94%. So I've got all the doors shut and air conditioning on full whack because I'm melting, man.
Yeah, mate, we ain't got that problem here. It's like 16, 17 degrees where I am. I didn't have to put the aircon on the car. Do you know what I mean? I've had a jacket on all day. My head's getting a bit chilly now that I've shaved it off. Do you know what I mean? It's and there's method to the madness. It won't be shaved forever. That's all I'm going to say live on the air. That's all I'm going to say live on the air.
You're not going to Turkey to see what Holden's hair specialist.
Maybe not Turkey, but maybe Harley Street might be on the way there. Maybe Terry's going to have new hair soon. It's we'll see we'll see what's going to happen there, my friend. Lots happened in the last few days, and there's so much to delve into today. We're going to be touching Arsenal, of course. We are. Arteta Out updates. I mean, looks like Balogun's Ollie out. Sorry, Arteta Out with what his brother's been saying and stuff like that. We're going to delve into a lot of that. We're going to touch on Ronaldo Champions League preview as well. It will halfway through the show. We're going to go to member chat only. So any questions you've got for Lee, you can member chat or you can super chat in to have your say. And what else it want you to do. JJ says, don't care about Arsenal is what JJ says. Well, it's definitely going to be we're definitely going to be touching on it. There's no doubt about it. A lot of people calling me out for being late. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't the reason we were late today, to be fair. It wasn't me. It wasn't me today. Normally is, but today it wasn't. It wasn't me today.
I'm late for everything. They should know that by now. I literally never go on time on a stream. Listen, it wasn't my fault. I went to town to get some potatoes and some pepper and that. And the taxi took forever to come and get me to bring me back. So obviously I needed to eat my steak. And that's why I'm late. So yeah, blame the Uber driver.
No worries at all, mate. But as I say, lots going on. I mean, at the weekend, we saw Ronaldo come back. I need to ask you about that, right? So he scored a brace. Still, I'm seeing people, he's just a goal scorer. Were you more or less impressed with the overall football from Ronaldo on Saturday?
I'll be honest, like I see the debate that Neville and Carragher had last night. Yeah, for me, it's always Messi. Yeah, like always Messi. Messi can do everything Ronaldo can do, but better, other than headering the ball and keeping himself looking like an Adonis. Yeah, but that's not taking anything away from Ronaldo. Ronaldo changed his game when he left United to just goals. And I think we see that with the first goal that he scored at the weekend. Like, he could make that run to that goalkeeper 100 times, and 99 times that keeper catches it. Yeah, but he'll keep making that run. In the one time out of the 100, he gets a tap in. Yeah, and that's what he's changed in his game, which is why he scores so many goals, because he is just relentless. I want to score. His second goal, great movement. Yeah, but you expect that from him. Like I said, his first goal, he was just standing there waiting for a tap in. Yeah, where was the defense? But that's because his movement is elite level, man. Like, he is ridiculously good at movement in the box and off the shoulder of a player. And you see that with the second goal. His shot power is ridiculous, which is why the second one went through the keeper's legs. Yeah, I don't think if he had hit that anywhere near Hazard, the keeper would have saved that with his leg anyway. So yeah, I think his link-up play has always been a little bit off-key at times, but it depends what players he's playing with. It depends. Like at Real Madrid, he didn't need to have loads of link-up play because they're top class players all around him, like real top class, Modric and all of that. So he didn't need to hold the ball up, ping it off and that. I feel like Man United, he's going to have to do that a little bit more, because I don't think you've got the players that he had at Madrid a few seasons back, 4 or 5 years back, maybe.
Yeah.
Obviously at Juventus, it was a little bit, and this is not a diss to Juve either, because they're a quality club, man. But I feel like he dropped down a level going to Juventus from Real Madrid. But it was the right move, I suppose, in the end for him. Because obviously he'd come to his lifetime at Madrid. He'd done it all. Do you know what I mean? So, right, I've had enough. I want a new challenge. Juve, cool, whatever. Didn't win the Champions League with them. Nearly qualified for Europa League, which was mad. Yeah, but yeah, I do feel like his link-up play is a little bit underrated. But it depends who he's playing with, man. I really do.
No, but I get that. The Messi Ronaldo debate's interesting. I'd say in terms of his return to the Prem with Ronaldo, I think he shocked a lot of people because for about 6 years now, when it's come to the conversation about Ronaldo, all anybody has said is they just say he's just a goal scorer, which if you study him and watch his game is nonsense. We saw at the weekend, he isn't just a goal scorer. He's running, he's breaking up the lines. His link-up play, I think you're right, is so underrated. But it's because we live in this polarized world where because his link-up play isn't as good as Messi's, it's called trash. Because he's dribbling in recent years hasn't been as good as Eden Hazard's, it's called trash. And it's almost like, well, neither Messi or Ronaldo are trash. Nothing about them is trash. They're both like ridiculously good. But I think he shocked a few people that he had more. I mean, Paul Merson's comment he made, doesn't matter how good a finisher he is, he won't be able to beat anyone in the Premier League for pace. And he stripped people all day for pace. Like he still probably, he clocked, I think, 33 kilometers per hour, which is one of the fastest sprints of the season so far. Like he's still quick. In terms of the GOAT debate, like so I was really impressed with him. I didn't want him to resign for us when he was going City. Someone said, "Would you like him at Man United?" And I was like,
"Oh, it's funny. All Man United fans they had the knives out for him and everything, man." And then 2 days later, that's to quickly delete all their tweets.
Yeah, like it was kind of like, well, I didn't delete. I just kind of addressed it and was like, I would rather the money had been invested in a Haaland type player. But then when he came back, you're like, okay, well, let's take a look at him. Started studying the game a bit more. I don't watch European football. I'm very open about that. But I started studying it via Wisecout, and I'm like, actually, he does a lot more in games than people tell me that he does. And then I watched him, and by the time he came back, the emotions and sentiment took over. And then you get down to the brass tacks of it. Is he going to deliver? Is he going to score? Is he going to be able to impact games? And it's only one match, but he scored a brace. He's going to play young boys tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if he scored a couple more tonight. And, you go 2 games in, 4 or 5 goal contributions, and you're thinking, well, that's all you want him for. He's paying for himself in that way. And it's going to be, in terms of the Messi-Ronaldo debate, though, we did a lot of debates last week on GOATs and legacies, and everyone has a different kind of tick box list for what they think is the most important thing. And if someone said to me who has the best footballing ability, I'm always going to say Messi, because I think he does. In terms of preference, who I prefer to watch is in how they play and their attitude on the field. I'd pick Messi every single day. I like direct players. I like people that just have that they show the want to win. Messi definitely wants to win. I know he does, but I don't see it from him. So I buy into the emotion a little bit more. In terms of the debate, one of the things that I think goes in Ronaldo's favor, and the next 2 years are going to be really telling in this debate, it's the element of Premier League, doing it in multiple leagues. So he's done it in England. He did it in Spain. He did it in Italy. He's now come back to England. Messi's gone to France. And none of us rate that league. I mean, UEFA have moved it down from the 5th biggest to the 6th biggest league. So what's going to happen in this debate now, and we know this is going to come, if Messi scores 30 goals this year and Ronaldo scores 30 goals, Premier League goals clearly way more than Ligue 1 goals. So this is what I love about this debate. It's now taken a really nice turn where Messi's got to completely outstrip everything Ronaldo does over the next 2 years. Otherwise, it will. If Ronaldo wins a Prem and a Champions League in the next 2 years and scores 65 goals in the process, if Messi wins just Ligue 1, no Champions League, and scores the same goals, like the Messi fan, the Ronaldo fanboys they're gonna lay it on thick, and it's almost a hard one to get out of because none of us are going to try and say for a second that Ligue 1 is anywhere near the Prem's level. Do you get what I mean? So
it's not, but at the same time, like I've seen some people in the chat as well. Big up everyone watching, man. And I've seen a lot of people since Ronaldo scored at the weekend saying, yeah, but Ronaldo's done it in multiple leagues. You just said it. He's done it in multiple leagues. Why would Messi have left Barcelona? It's the biggest club, arguably, on the planet. And he is the main man, is their all-time top goal scorer. Way, way, way clear of second place, by the way. I think he's got more than double what second place has. I think Luis Suarez is their 3rd highest top scorer ever. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I think Messi's got like 350 goals, 400 goals, more than second place. So it was like he's ingrained in their history forever. And it was a case of like, I don't need to go anywhere else to prove myself. I'm at the biggest club in the world. I am the best player ever to have played for this club. Yeah, I will never be forgotten. And it was only the fact that they couldn't really afford him is why they got rid. And the only club who could really afford him.
No, and do you know what? I don't necessarily disagree with that as a train of thought. Messi doesn't have to go, right, I've got to leave so that I can prove Ronaldo fanboys wrong. I'm not suggesting that, but it is an argument in the sense of when you think about great fighters, when it comes to pound for pound, if you notice that most of Muhammad Ali has always been seen as like the greatest, but I mean, in the last 30 years, the fighters that we consider the greatest are always people that are in lower weight catches. Do you know why? Because they can win 3 or 4 world titles at 3 or 4 different weights. So you can go from a lightweight some of them gone right through the super middleweight, and they've won titles at every level. And it's that case of I can show you I'm the best boxer in the world in multiple weight categories. It's why, you know, in MMA, you've seen people start to now go, right, I'm going to be a champion in middleweight and I'm going to go up to the next level to try and prove that I'm the best fighter. You're never going to get someone that's a lightweight fighter. Heavyweight, it's impossible. There's too much differential. So I think it just comes down to and this is where it's an individual debate for me, what you think weighs more. So for some people, there's this element of being able to do it in multiple leagues that are played in different ways. We've all seen when a player comes from Germany, they really struggle in the Prem or they never quite make it. I think one of the tick boxes for Ronaldo is every league he's gone to, he's been the same player. And I think Messi, by the way, would have done, but we don't know because he hasn't done it. Does that make sense? Like I think Ronaldo, original Ronaldo, would have smashed it in the Prem. But we can't say he did because he didn't, if that makes sense. And I think that's something that Ronaldo's got. And that's why this debate for me is amazing because I think it's never going to end. It's never going to end. That's right, mate.
I think also with Messi, like the reason I like Messi, right? That guy is essentially a midfielder. Yeah. And he's either been a right winger or an attacking mid. And now he's even a little bit deeper. He's never been an out and out striker. Yeah, and he's already bagged more goals. I think he's bagged more goals than Ronaldo in his career in international and for club as well. Yeah, so and it's in less games as well, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe he's a couple behind with less games.
He's scored less, but he's played about 140 less games.
Okay,
and do you know what it comes down?
Terry, his passing is a joke. Like that guy could literally play anywhere on the football pitch and he would still be the best player. Yeah, you could play him at right back, it'd still be the best player. You could play him at CDM, it'd still pull the strings. You could play him at number 10, he'd still bag loads of goals. Play him right wing, he'll still bag loads of goals. You could play him as a false 9, you could play him as a 9, you could play him as a left winger. You can't do that with Ronaldo, and that's why like Ronaldo, when he was at United, me and Rance had this conversation the other week. It was like his most exciting football Ronaldo was at Man United first time round. The tricks, the skills. The last season he was at United, he bagged 40 goals or something stupid, wasn't it? 42 goals. Like free kicks, slapping them in for fun. He can't score a free kick anymore. He barely scores a free kick. He scored one against Almunia from about 85 meters out. Like it was just that's it in. Yeah, and I think I don't know if this is true, but Rance said he's got one of, if not the worst ratios for free kicks in Serie A. 80-odd free kicks, one goal.
That's something that definitely in his latter years has gone away from him and fallen away.
He's crap, by the way.
And I totally get that. I sort of feel like, again, when it comes to these debates, there's nothing that you've said or anything Messi fans say that isn't logical. The only time I switch off from somebody is when they call Ronaldo dead or overrated or trash. Like as soon as I hear that language around him, it's like I'm not listening to you anymore because you've gone too far. What I always feel with these debates is what are we weighing as the most important thing? And what you'll find is that some people will weigh ability and Messi's records and the fact that he can play the positions that he can as being the most important thing. Others, like me, and I'm consistent throughout all these elements, is I weigh the fact that he's done it in multiple leagues. I also weigh up the fact that he's adapted his game as he's got older and as football's changed. And he has played multiple positions. He started off as an out-and-out, like David Beckham replacement in right midfield, a position that doesn't even exist anymore. He become an inside forward. He then moved to the left, and then he's become a striker, and then he's become more of a goal poacher in many ways. And it's almost like he's adapted his game as well. Could he be a playmaker? Absolutely not. And we're now in this era where playmakers get so much more respect than they used to. Playmakers have always been respected, the Zidanes of this world, etc. And I totally agree that Messi is the second best football player in the world ever. But I think for me, it just comes down to preference. And my view is this. I've said to the Football Terrace crew a lot, I don't really care if Messi comes out on top. All I care about is that whatever we set as the criteria for judging between the two of them are the best, we use that same criteria to assess who everybody else is. And I had a debate last week where the rationale for Henry being considered the GOAT over Ronaldo was, we'll get to your bit on that, was basically, it was all about, yeah, see you later, mate. It was all about sentiment. It was all about sentiment and how many people loved Henry versus Ronaldo. So then I then went and looked at the stats. Ronaldo has, if you use that as your trump card, the reason why. Ronaldo has more followers, more supporters, sells more products. People buy into him more. Therefore, there's more of an emotional connection. Suddenly, that wasn't good enough. No, you can't use it in this debate. I'm like, well, why was it good enough in the other one? That's the only time
the goalpost changed. Terry, also, right? I've seen a lot of people in the chat saying, yeah, but Messi would flop in the Premier League. He literally slaps every Premier League team up every season. He scored a banger at Anfield, a free kick. Yeah, he used to destroy us every week. Yeah, like every time we played him. Like he scored against Man United in a final to win the Champions League, out jumping Rio Ferdinand of all people. I don't buy into that he'd flop in the Premier League. No way in a million years.
No, I don't think he would either. There's a comment here that says, Terry, by your logic, Pep and Mourinho are better than Ferguson because they did it in multiple leagues.
That's a great comment.
but Fergie did it in Scotland when Scotland was a powerful league. When Scotland was a league that was feared in Europe, was rated as one of the best when the Scottish teams were winning European trophies, Fergie did it there. And not only did Fergie do it in Scotland, he broke the stranglehold that the two Glaswegian clubs had with Aberdeen. So Fergie has done it in multiple
as well.
Yeah, so he did do it in multiple countries. I think also with managers that is slightly different, and I think you have to bear this in mind. If you listen to managers talk, all the great managers, the one thing they put on Fergie is doing it in the same place week in, week out, year in, year out is actually the hardest element. What a lot of managers like is that change, is that element of I want to go somewhere new, whether it's in the same league or another league. They feel that there is that element. So there is an argument there. But Fergie,
fresh, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, but Fergie did do it in multiple leagues. He and when you look at Pep as an example, he's won the title in every league. But Pep hasn't done what Fergie did. Fergie took over two clubs that were fallen, one that was a fallen giant in United and gotten back to the top for 25 years. And he took over an Aberdeen team that were never fancied. And for a 2 or 3 year period, made them the best team in Scotland. Mourinho's got that argument because he took over a Porto team and made them the best in Europe. He took over an Inter Milan team and made them treble winners. The one thing I say that I would love to see Pep do, legitimately, is take over, say, an AC Milan and get them back to the top. Or take over... mate, but that's a prime example. If he took over an Arsenal and turned you into European champions within 7-8 years, that for me, maybe even less than 5 years, whatever it is, that's a kind of Mourinho, Fergie-esque achievement. But that doesn't mean, by the way, that Mourinho is better than Pep, but it's definitely something that they have over him. And
out of the three that are mentioned in that super chat, I know you're Man United, so you're going to say Fergie most likely, but who do you think is the best out of Pep, Jose or Fergie?
Jose or Fergie? Like, I do think Fergie is. And the reason that I'm going to say Fergie is because Fergie has something which we don't know. Pep, we don't know yet, so I don't want to say he won't do this. Fergie did something which I think transcends even the medals. Fergie managed in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and noughties, and in the teenies. 5 decades he managed in. The world in those 5 decades has changed dramatically. To be able to manage young people in 2013 and to have adapted from how you manage people in the 1970s is the element of leadership required. Look at Jose. Jose struggled in the last 7-8 years because the world's changed and he isn't able to get into the psyche of players of the elite level. Now, he's doing very well at Roma at the moment, so maybe he can change that. But what's gone wrong for him at the back end of Madrid, his second time at Chelsea, Man United and Spurs, was the way in which he treated people. And I think that's something Fergie was a don with, because generally speaking, you see a 70-year-old Glaswegian man, you sort of think, like a lot of us would look at our granddads and it's like, oh, I don't want him speaking on the camera because he might say something that's not acceptable anymore. Fergie managed to like change as time changed. And that for me is the most important element of leadership. And we don't know about Pep. We don't know about Klopp. We don't know about any of these managers, how they're going to adapt, what they're going to be doing in 15 years time, if that makes sense, when the world changes again, and it will change again. So for me, I would pick Fergie over Jose. But Jose's pomp was ridiculously good.
See, I disagree with what you said about Jose. Jose changed how he spoke to players and that. I don't think Jose did change. I think the players changed. The players got more like in their feelings.
No, I agree. No, I agree. You're right. Jose hasn't changed. but he needs to in the modern day game. You know, Fergie was managing players in 2007, how he was managing people in 1981. They would have, it wouldn't have worked because the world was different. Does that make sense? It's almost like you have to behave. You've worked in a corporate world. You know, I know what you used to sell. I'm not going to say it publicly in case people don't know. But the way
double glazing me. I was a top blagger.
Mate, but the way that you know as well as I do, in that corporate environment, you'd have had the older heads that have been there 25 years. And the way they used to behave 25 years ago in the office, what they were allowed to say is different from now. And I think that's the one thing that Fergie had over him, in my opinion. There's a comment here from Mario who says, Ronaldo has won 4 Champions League in 5 years. Messi has 1 Champions League in 9 years. The greatest winner back-to-back Champions League. Messi and Barcelona failed, is what Mario says there with his super chat.
If you actually have a look at how many Champions Leagues Barcelona had when they beat us in the final and how many they've got now, I think Messi's been great for them.
Yeah, listen, he has. I don't think they've failed. I don't think that's a fair way to analyze the situation with. I wouldn't analyze the situation in that way myself. I think what's interesting is, again, another one of these debates, and we are going to move on to the Arteta stuff in a moment. Another element in these debates is whenever you bring up Gerrard, what he's achieved, you'll get a lot of people say it wasn't in as good a team. That's a fine logic to have. The majority of time that Ronaldo was at Real Madrid, Barcelona were universally considered the better team. So when it comes to scoring more goals and assisting more, etc., you then have to apply that same logic again. You know, Ronaldo was in a very, very good team, but not in a team that was regarded to be as good as Barcelona in that time. And that's what I love about these debates. And sometimes I just love listening to people because it's like, okay, I heard you yesterday say that the quality of your team determines who should and shouldn't be considered the best. And then today, that's not a consideration. But I love it. It's amazing to see. CR7 is a robot. Messi is an alien. Both are better than any humans that come to. And do you know what I will say to that is my view is this. I actually love watching them both. And I have a preference, but I don't think either are rubbish. I don't think either are overrated. They are the best two football players.
They're never overrated. You can't say Ronaldo. Listen, the only reason I don't have it with Ronaldo is because, like, I'll give you an example. When they played Porto, I just wanted him to cry. It was like, you've been such a little bitch all through this game, mate. And then it was so ironic the free kick bounced in off of him. But it was like, I remember watching a Real Madrid game. I can't remember who they played. And Carvajal taps it in at the back stick. And Ronaldo didn't even celebrate. He's walking back to the halfway line like, because he wanted to score. And it was like, mate, you've just won the game in stoppage time. Like, but he wants to be look at me. Whereas, right, if he's going clean through on goal, and the goalkeeper's coming out and you're in the Champions League final, for example, last minute, he ain't squaring that for a tap-in to win the Champions League final. He's going to try and do it himself, He may do it himself, but if Messi's clean through, he's squaring that and you all run off and win the Champions League. Nailed on.
And you know what, though? But
I prefer Messi. He's more of a team footballer.
And for me, that's what I love about Cristiano Ronaldo. But it becomes a preference thing. A few people in the comments saying, Terry, you're waffling. Listen, I am not waffling. My point remains 100% bang on, and I'll say it with chest. People change their tune depending on the player they're talking about, because generally, we all want to win the battle and have our player come out on top. And it stands to reason that if we have to give Gerrard a pass for not winning as much as Lampard and Scholes because he was in a worse team, when people say things like, well, Ronaldo didn't win enough league titles, well, he wasn't in a team that was regarded at the time as good as Barcelona, so your logic has to remain the same. But it won't. There's a comment here that there's a comment here that says only Ronaldo only scored 2 more goals than Messi against top 6 teams in the Prem. Messi never played in the Prem. And again, that's a very good point. But you also got to consider that Ronaldo played the first 18, 19, 20, 21. He played a lot of his early informative years in the Premier League when he was a right midfielder. He wasn't in a major goal scoring position in that time. So again, it's true, but the context is needed there when it comes to things.
I do love some of the comments. Like, there's a guy, Jason22, big up to you, mate. He said Ronaldo literally won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. What are you talking about? Football's a team game. Ronaldo didn't win them on his own, by the way. And I think you'll find Gareth Bale had a massive impact in both 2 of them 3 finals. And without Gareth Bale bagging an overhead kick in one of them, they wouldn't have won it.
Mate, you're bang on
and
it.
There was one against Atletico Madrid where Gareth Bale scored a header. Yeah, that was after Sergio Ramos equalised in stoppage time. And then Ronaldo scores a penalty, wheels away, and it's all about him again. It was like, hang on, Sergio Ramos got you to extra time and Bale scored the header to put you 2-1 up. Yeah, and it's like, it's a team game. So why are you judging trophies? Like, for me, trophies are cool. You can put that in an argument. But Kleberson won a World Cup. Messi and Ronaldo ain't.
So, mate, listen, I think trophies have to be in. But again, none of these things should be the be-all or end-all, because the argument works the same. Would Messi have been as dominant and won as much if he didn't have Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets? No, because they made that team even better. And do you know how we know that? Because as soon as those guys have gone, Barcelona haven't been as good. He still scored loads, but he hasn't won as many trophies because the team isn't as good anymore. So it's one of them things for me where I feel like all the arguments are good. And what I love is that when you throw out something that contradicts someone, oh, you're chatting rubbish. It's like, well, no,
you're waffling.
you literally used that excuse yesterday to defend a different player. I saw you in the comments. Mo here says, Lee, I used to think you were negative all the time about Arsenal, but honestly, I've seen the light and you've been spitting facts all along. We are going to move on to Arsenal. A lot's happened in the last few days. First and foremost, get your super chats in. By the way, get your super chats in and make sure you hit that like button. Let's get this past 1,000 likes. Share the stream across your social media platforms as well. However, Arsenal, you won your first game at the weekend. Yay. You won your first game at the weekend. Season starts now. But I have to say, I've seen you raging at times. I've seen you raging at times about things. And I mean, one of them, I agree with you on 100%. I saw this. I saw a piece of control here by Odegaard, and people are like trying to compare it like to Bergkamp. Like, is this the kind of thing you're talking about when you say Arsenal fans can be an embarrassment on social media? One, to even mention Odegaard and Bergkamp's name in the same breath, and two, to do it after you scraped past Norwich.
Bro, that account is notorious for selling fake football shirts. So I put nothing past him, mate. So
really,
he deactivated his Shopify. He's put it on hold because you can turn Spotify shop on and off. I wouldn't listen to anything that guy says, if I'm being completely honest. But this is what our fans do, Terry. And you know, I've seen Jack Wilshere coming out doing sob stories left, right, and centre recently as well. Oh, I've not got a club. I've not got a club. I've not got a club. He done another interview today. Oh, what did you think about Arteta saying that you're welcome back? Oh, yeah, I love it. I'll give him a call in a couple of days. Why are you on Sky again telling us a sob story, mate? Either call him or don't. Like, you know, at the end of the day, I've grown up in the 80s, yeah, and the 90s. That's the interview, right? I've grown up in the 80s and 90s. I didn't grow up in this little, you know, soft environment, yeah? There's a reason he was always injured. I'm not going to go into that, yeah, but there's a reason why he was always injured, and it's because he wasn't looking after his body properly. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, right? So now to sit there at 30 years old, moaning and crying and all of that, yeah, but then you go and read all the comments on that post, and it's, oh, yes, come on, Jack, come back, come back, come back. People are going to say, yeah, but Lee, you put a tweet out saying he's better than Gibraltar. Like, that's what I call him now, Gibraltar. That's his name now. He probably is, but it was banter. I don't actually mean it. It was just like winding people up. Jack Wilshere is not good enough to play for Arsenal. He's not good enough to play for anyone right now, hence why he ain't got a club. Going back to Martin Odegaard. Terry, people will see it with this player. Yeah, the same as they'll see it with Ben White. Yeah, they will see within the next year or two that neither of them are good enough to play for this football club. Yeah, and you know, people can go on and on and on about stats and this and that. Yeah, but then when I use the stats the opposite way to say, well, where's the stats? Like, I put a tweet out at full time saying, can somebody give me Martin Odegaard's stats? I can't seem to find anyone tweeting them today. Yeah, so nobody, and I said I want his XT. I didn't even know what XT was until 2 weeks ago. It's expected threat. What does that even mean?
What is that? What is that?
Yeah, what does that even mean? Like, expected threat. It's a new matrix set up by somebody. I can't remember who set it up. I see somebody tweet here, and it made out that he had more expected threat last season than any other player in the Premier League. And I'm like, you have literally just made up some metric to make out your favorite player is now the best player in midfield in the league. Yeah, and it's like, so I went and got his stats myself. In 94 minutes of football, he made 39 completed passes. You've literally passed the ball once every 2.5 minutes that's been completed. And that was a 93% pass accuracy. So he's passed the ball, 40 odd times throughout the whole game. Yeah, and people are telling me this guy's the most creative guy, is the guy that we need to take us forward. He didn't have a shot. We had 30 shots, not one was his. Like, do you know what I'm saying? He never got any, I think he created 2 chances, yeah? One of them was for Aubameyang, where he jumped out the air and he should have scored, but the other one was like a half chance at best, yeah? And I'm just like, people will just continuously gas up these players. And I get it, because the majority of our online fans have probably never seen us win a league title, so they're used to rubbish. Yeah, so, you know, they can just keep that narrative. And, you know, when they get a player like Odegaard, who's pretty on his passing, he's a safe passer. That's all he is. That's why his pass accuracy is always high. He had 3 or 4 opportunities on Saturday to curl a ball into the box to the back stick to Aubameyang, and he come back inside and passed it sideways and backwards. Yeah, and Kevin De Bruyne's whipping that in. You know, Firmino's probably whipping that in. You know, Pogba's whipping that in, or Bruno's whipping that in. Yeah, him. Oh, no, I won't do that because it'll ruin my pass accuracy. I'll go sideways and keep my pass accuracy ticking. Players like that, sorry, mate, I ain't having them. I want you to grab the game and run forward and do it. Smith Rowe did that when he came on. And I think Smith Rowe probably did more in the 15 minutes or so he was on the pitch than Odegaard did all game. Yeah, he had a shot. Yeah. He should have scored. He got the ball in our own half. He was driving over halfway. But ultimately, our fans have not seen major success at this football club. So even the likes of Smith Rowe, they're pinning their house on, or their mum's house. Saka the same, and then Odegaard the same. And for me,
do you feel like, though, do you feel like, I mean, Odegaard for me, sorry to interject, but if he was good enough, Real Madrid wouldn't have loaned him out multiple times and let him go. That's first and foremost. He isn't of that level. Now, you're not competing at Real Madrid's level, so you think, okay, but no one else is interested in him. Nobody else was fighting you for him. You tried to sign at least 2 other players before him in this window, at least 1 other player before him in the January window. He isn't even your number 1 target. Why? I don't understand why Arsenal fans are so... I get the notion of publicly backing your player and being a fan. But it's, I mean, when I see those posts of comparing him to Bergkamp and I just think to myself, why are you setting yourselves up for huge
because they just
failure.
Jump on anything that's fashionable, Terry. That particular account, yeah, tweeted out on his, obviously on his Twitter, that was on his Insta. He tweeted out after Villarreal, after the full-time whistle, Arteta out. The very next day, he woke up, deleted the tweet and said, I was just angry. Because the majority of people weren't Arteta out, even though we'd lost that game. So he put it out there. Yeah, the next day he deleted the tweet and said, actually, I was just angry. I've seen other people that go on fan cams say, Arteta out, he's got to go, then go on another podcast the next day and say, oh, yeah, well, I was just angry. Well, don't do a fan cam then, mate. Yeah, because I want to know your opinion. Or was that your opinion? Yeah, the same as that guy. Was that his opinion, Arteta out? But then you got a load of backlash and thought, oh, actually, I better make out I was just angry. Well, which one is your opinion? Yeah, and these people, they just go with the flow. Yeah, and there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of them, not just in the Arsenal fan base, but every fan base. They will just go with what's fashionable. You'd never get their actual opinion. They tell you what they think the club will do, not what they want to happen. Yeah, there's loads of them on social media. It's rife with it, yeah? So you'll say, oh, yeah, so obviously Arsenal was sat down in 20th at the minute. What are your thoughts on? Oh, well, I think that the club... No, what do you actually think, mate? Like, what's your thoughts on it? What would you do? Yeah, you never get these people's opinions, mate. And that's why I only listen and watch a certain select few people and follow a certain select few people, because there's not many people that will actually say it as it is. And that's why I rate the ones that do.
Mate, I totally agree, mate. I've called so many, not people out. I don't get into the whole calling people out anymore because people... social media 5-6 years ago, it was all fun and games. Like if you tag someone and said, oh, I think you're talking nonsense, oh, let's have a little chat and let's go on a stream. Now it's almost like, why are you baiting me? It's like, I just thought we were here to chat football. But like, I see it with Man United. When it's fashionable to be Glazers out, People are protesting. It's looking great. All good for the gram. You know, we lose a few games and it's like, oh, Ollie's the biggest problem. So a few weeks ago, you were literally protesting that the Glazers are the biggest issue at the club. And now you're back to Ollie. Why? Because social media dictates that's what the biggest problem is. And you go with it. And even KJ last night, when he was talking about why he literally said, Man United, we'll get onto Champions League later. He literally said, I don't think Man United will win the Champions League. And his reason was, we've got a good enough squad. But he went, Ollie isn't better than Klopp, Pep, Allegri, Simeone, Guardiola, Poch. Like, he literally named all the 6 or 7 managers that are better. And everyone's going, how can you say that? How can you say he can't win it? He went, because I just don't think, even though anyone can win a knockout competition, it's like there's so many better teams that are very good and better managers out there. I don't think Ollie's good enough. And then he's being shouted down for saying, like, Ollie isn't good enough. No, you've got to back a team. You've got to have chest. And it's like, but why, though? He's giving his honest opinion. You know, I'm the other way. I actually think Ollie's going to pull something off this year, not because he's good enough, but because it's going to piss people off. I think it's like an opposite thing. But it's mad. People just always want you to say what's fashionable, and it really does my head in.
I don't always buy into this. He plays for the club. He wears the shirt. You got to back him. Why? Why do I have to do that? Like, I don't understand why people like Ramsdale. Ramsdale played all right at the weekend. All of a sudden, oh yes, drop Leno. He's the best keeper. Right, he never had to make a save. Yeah. And then Arsenal would drop. Then Arsenal were tweeting out his little shoulder drop against Timo Pukki in the box. I was like, yeah, that's all well and good, mate. Now do it against Salah. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all well and good doing this. Bottom teams, which is cool. And I get people want to be excited, and I get people want to back the team and all of that. Yeah, but let's have a bit of realism with it here. Yeah, Ramsdale is is he a better keeper than Leno? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. It's debatable, isn't it? You know, then you look at the right back. Yeah, the way Arsenal have been talking about this right back, by the way. Yeah, like looking good, Tommy was one of the tweets. Then he was getting a piggyback off a player, and it was, oh, making friends already, Tommy. And I'm like, they're treating this kid like he's on his first day at nursery. Like, so
bruv, that's what they do. Like, honestly, when my kids are at nursery, they put pictures up during the day on the app, and you can go in there, and it's like Freya's having fun with her friend Rosie, and they're like smiling. That's what it's like. That's literally what they do at my kids' nursery. Oh, wow.
Time, I put a tweet out saying, after a great first half, Tommy's been allowed some fruit shoot. Then I think for full time, I said, yeah, I'm surprised Arsenal haven't tweeted out that Tommy's allowed a sleepover. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is going on here? Like,
Tommy's had a great day, and he's just waiting at the gates for his mum and dad to pick him up now. Like, it's mad. I do hear you on that. It's and everyone buys into. Listen, I'm gassed right now that I've read that Ronaldo refused dessert on Friday, and every other player copied him and refused dessert. That stuff's like, but that's just fun stuff. Like, honestly, like, people get so over the top with supporting their clubs. Monsieur Ahmed here says, should under-18s at Arsenal be given a chance in different positions when new positions rather than new players? Because it seems they understand what it means to play for Arsenal, like Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe. Now, it's a great super chat because I wanted to speak to you about Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe. I have to bring up Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe. Everyone knows I think they're talented. I'm not going to yield on how good of players I think they are. But I did read this stat and I was shocked. And this stat shows here, I saw it on Twitter, that says Saka has no goals and only 1 assist in his last 18 league games. Smith-Rowe is given the number 10 shirt and has no goals or assists so far this season. He suggested here it's worrying to see 2 talents getting worse under Arteta, like, you know, and Saliba and Guendouzi smashing it in France. Like, what's your take on this? Is this Arteta regressing these young talents, or are we just seeing their real levels coming through? Like, what's your take as an Arsenal fan on why they're not producing the goals and the assists and the creativity which people would expect of their talent?
Bit of both. I think both are massively overrated, but they are very good players. Yeah, and they shouldn't be the leaders of this football club. They shouldn't be playing week in, week out. You know, and that is down to the piss poor management of this football club. Yeah, you know, we're playing a system in the team. Like, I'll give an example. Weekend, Smith-Rowe was benched. You're on number 10. And then when he has played, the number 10 is Odegaard. So why'd you give him number 10 then? Like, it just makes no sense. But I do think, I said, it's funny actually, because I tweeted it out earlier. November last year, I was on with Claude, bless him, RIP to him, and Terry Davis. And I was having an Arteta in out debate. And I said, Saka's regressed under this manager. And that was November last year. And I got so much heat for that. Yeah, like I did with the Zola thing the other day. It was that level of like everyone was on it. Yeah, and I was like, well, look at him now. He hasn't scored a goal in his last 18 league games, and he's got 1 assist. Smith Rowe has got 1 assist in the league since February. Yeah, I think he's only ever scored 2 league goals for Arsenal, Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 4 assists, I think, total for the league. And it's like, you know, our fans are notorious at like overrating footballers. Yeah. And I'm not saying that these players are not going to be great, by the way, because I do like both of them. I think like they both have something a bit different, like in terms of qualities. They've got different qualities, but I think that they both can impact a football match, and not just a little team. They can do it against big teams as well. I personally believe that. But I just think that the way this manager plays, Smith Rowe's never going to play at number 10. He's always going to be shoved out on that left hand side. And then when he came on at the weekend, he kind of just floated around wherever he wanted. But Odegaard and him were getting in each other's way. And it was like, because they're both trying to occupy the same area. And it's like, you can't play both. You have to play one or the other. Yeah. And like, I don't know, man. Like, Saka is a weird one because for England, he's brilliant. Yeah. But for us,
well, mate, it's a team. It's a team in the system, mate. And we're going to get onto that in a few minutes. It's a team in the system with Arsenal because they're both, for me, immensely talented players. But what you've said is right. Overhyped and then not being utilised or nurtured properly by Arsenal Football Club. Not just Arteta, it's Arsenal Football Club. Giving Emile Smith-Rowe now that 10 shirt when you were in the market for much more talented play or more advanced players than he is now, it was again a PR stunt. Oh, Emile Smith-Rowe must be looked at as better than Maddison because I read from some credible Arsenal sources that we were looking to give Maddison the number 10 shirt, but we've given it to Smith-Rowe.
Tagging me already because I've been slagging off Odegaard. I've had people tagging me with Maddison's output this season. You said this and you said this about Maddison and you said that, mate. James Maddison scored more goals last season than Odegaard has probably scored in about 7 seasons, mate. Like, let's just turn it in here. Like,
yeah, no, and I totally agree. But I think the biggest issue with Saka and Smith-Rowe is, as you've said, they're the crowning jewels in this team. They're honestly, if Saka's on the bench and you're struggling, it's like we've got to bring Saka on, putting that pressure on a young kid, being the talisman at the tender age. These 2 children, they're children. The tender age they are. It's an abomination by Arsenal Football Club. They should be a nice side dish, a very tasty side dish.
They should be like Phil Foden at City.
Phil Foden at City is a great example. You know, Mason Greenwood at Man United. Like, he's in there, but he's got Ronaldo, Cavani, Rashford, Martial, Bruno, elder statesmen around him to make sure he can still win games, but it's not on his shoulders. 2 years ago, we were in that position at Man United, where our youngsters were our best players. And it is, honestly, it's the worst position you could put a club in, is for your young, talented players who could go on to be world-class, to have to be the stars at that young age, to be the best players, the talisman. Honestly, the club is they're going to ruin them. They will. I mean this wholeheartedly. Arsenal Football Club will ruin Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe if they don't wise up, improve that squad and improve their manager over the next 2 years. They will burn them out and they'll just ruin their natural progression as football players. That they really will. There was a comment from a super chat from Tamil. Sorry, I missed it, but I wanted to save it. You did actually comment that I missed it. I saved it for this conversation because he says Arsenal fans are a major part of this football club's decline. They are overrating average managers, Wenger on his decline, and Arteta, and average players. Do you agree that fans are playing a big part in the decline of the club?
I've said for years, mate, they're the biggest issue. They can blame the owner as much as they want. Yeah, we've spent 424 million quid in 4 seasons. That's more than anyone. Like, you know, we spent more than Chelsea. Well, look at their team. So, you know, people can sit there and blame the owner all they like. After we lost to Brentford, let's get a protest together. Let's go and protest against Chelsea. Yeah, all of a sudden, Odegaard gets dropped in, Ramsdale gets dropped in, and all of a sudden, poof, let's not go and, let's just take our selfies. Back up my second home and all that rubbish. Like, well, you had the chance to protest, mate. Josh Kroenke was at the game, and all of a sudden it's forgotten. Like, and that has been an ongoing thing for years. I remember doing a Kroenke out protest about 7 seasons ago, Terry. Yeah, 7 years ago, I was on one. Yeah, at least 6. It was at least 6 years ago. Yeah, what's changed? Nothing. Because more and more people now just want to fit in with what's popular. And that Kroenke out, I've said it for a long time. It's just a hashtag on Twitter. Yeah, nobody cares. Like they went there after Chelsea did their Super League protest, and our fans went and done one, didn't they? Then your lot got smashed into Old Trafford and got the game called off and that, which I thought was epic, by the way. And look, you've now got Ronaldo, Santi, and Varane.
Mate, and it's about making a stand, and it's about standing up. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone to member chat only now, so get your super chat questions in, get your member questions into Lee. We're going to ask them of him. Before we go on to predicting the Champions League, who's going to win it and everything, viewers, smash that like button. Let's get this past 1,000 likes while we're live, please, people. 2,300 watching, which is amazing. My guy, Lee, Rat Army for life, spitting facts. Thank you very much indeed. Members, where you at? If you want to sign up to membership, it is pinned to the link. You can join for as little as 99p per month. All the different tiers are in there, so get that done as well. You can use all the special emojis we've got as well. We've got a brand new Arsenal one on the way as well.
It's not a rat, is it, Terry?
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do like an Arsenal rat. But I needed to ask you about this because Balogun, I know it's not him. I know he hasn't spoke. I know it isn't his words. But his brother has come out and been really damning. I'm going to zoom in here. This is, your quote tweet I'm on, but like from Chris Wheatley, where he said, you can't blame just the player, it's the system. If you look at that striker problems in terms of chances created, it's not just, of course, his brother. When Martinelli and Aubameyang are playing there, the system doesn't work. What's your take on this? Because, again, it's not coming from Balogun's mouth, but it's his brother. He's speaking openly. We've seen this at Man United and other clubs where people are unhappy. It just seems like another dent in Arteta, the players' brothers speaking out about how bad the system is. It's damaging his brother. It's stopping him from performing. I mean, this is how does it make you feel as an Arsenal fan to see these kind of headlines and stories come out?
I love it. The more, the merrier. Maitland Niles, when he said, I just want to be loved, and put it on Instagram, I just want to play football and somewhere I want to be loved. Yeah, that's great. The more people that keep coming out and out in this club and out in that manager, the better. Because the quicker they keep outing him, the quicker he's gone. And the quicker he's gone, the quicker we get an upturn in form straight away. Yeah. And then that manager maybe then determines the hierarchy above it. Because me personally, if Arteta goes, Edu's got to go straight away as well. Yeah, they've both got to go. They're a package, mate. And for me, they're not a very good package. In fact, they're very manipulating. The way they peddle stuff out, is very controlling. Like I've labelled them control freaks enough times. Yeah, the way they talk in interviews, the way they, like, for example, Arteta the other week said, people that can't see the process just don't want to see it. And if they don't want to see it, well, they're never going to see it. But I think that they should see it because it's not just for us. They need to be cheering for the youngsters. And it's like, you've basically told me I have to back you because of the kids, which is why you went down a youth project route. Yeah, because so he keeps his job. And that is him and Edu colluding together to do that. Well, and that is why more of these stories that come out, Terry, the better.
That sounds, do you know what that sounds like? It's like an abusive husband who, when his missus wants to leave, says, you've got to stay with me. You're going to ruin the kids' lives. It's like emotional blackmail, like to say stuff like that. At the end of the day,
if I can find the exact quote.
No, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. JP, by the way, thank you for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. If you want to join now, make sure you click on the link. It's in the live comment section or in the description below. We're going to be previewing who Lee thinks is going to win the Champions League and how the English teams are going to do. Get your questions in as well. Comment here from Harrison Lang, one of our members, says, Lee, you're so right. Arsenal fans on Twitter were trying to say that Saka was better than Greenwood because he's got a higher rating on the next FIFA game. Shameless. Yeah, I mean, FIFA ranking stuff is mad.
Lewandowski is better than Ronaldo.
well, there we go. I mean, the FIFA ranking things is mad because Lukaku called that out perfectly yesterday. They literally, mark some players down low so everyone talks about it and it makes it trend. And then it trends, and what do people do? They're talking about it. It's actually smart marketing, but the way you called it out was funny. Tamil here says, if the players want to perform for the manager, they'll do it for the manager. Take a look at Chelsea under Tuchel with a proper system. They are the European champions and Super Cup winners, and they weren't very good under Lampard. It does go to show.
Why, when people want to tell me you have to wait, it's a project, it's a process. He's implemented a style in one training session, Tuchel, and then won the Champions League. I don't care what Klopp did. Yeah, if he can do it in one training session, yeah, then sorry. I found the quote, by the way. Yeah, they know what we're trying to do. They can see it. And if they can't see it and don't see it, it's because they don't want to and want to see something different. But they really know what is coming and what we're trying to do. And they will be there for us because they know as well that it's for our young players who need them. That was Arteta's words, mate. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. This guy sits there, yeah, just absolutely like the arrogance of the bloke to just say, well, if you don't want to see it, then you want to see something different.
Then
but
you're not going to
back us because we're playing kids, mate. Yeah. And it's like, I can see through what they're doing. Yeah. I can see that they deliberately went down the youth project route because they knew if they, and we spoke about this last week, they knew if they gave him Maddison, Basuma and players that are ready for now, and he's sat 12th at Christmas, they have to sack him. And they don't want to sack him. I don't know why they don't want to sack him. Yeah. So they gave him a load of kids. He's happy with that probably. And now it's just manipulate everyone.
Mate, hear you on that. We've got some super chat questions here as well. It's from Monster. It says, can we consider Liverpool as underdogs to win the Champions League?
Always. Can't rule Liverpool out in Champions League, man. They've won it 6 times.
Hear you on that. How do you think the English teams are going to do this year? Like, do you see an English team winning it?
Chelsea are going to be there or thereabouts again, man. Like, and they're looking good. Now they've got Lukaku as well. If they keep Lukaku fit, then they're definitely favourites for me. Like out of the English teams anyway.
Above
Man United, nah.
You don't see United do it? No, don't. Nah. Why not Man United? Why can't Man United win it, in your opinion?
Same as what you were saying earlier. There's so many other better clubs and better managers that tactically, when it comes down to the big games, Ollie just ain't got it. And the players can bail him out in certain amounts of games, but when you need a winner to get to a final or a semi-final, yeah, that's when you need somebody like if the players ain't doing it, for example, and like you can't just get a player step up with a clutch moment. That's where you need a manager to earn his money and say, look, we're going to change this, this, and this for the last 10 minutes. You're going there, you go over there. I don't think Ollie's got that in the big games. If you look at the big games in the Premier League, I don't think he's won hardly any. So how's he going to then go and do that against the best in Europe?
Mate, I don't disagree with that, like in terms of its sound logic. What Man United fans are enjoying at the minute is our rivals keep telling us we should be backing our clubs to win it. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. I had this conversation. I've had it 100 times and it always draws silence. You say we should win it, but you say we're nowhere near as good as, say, 5 of the other teams and 10 of the other managers. It don't make sense. I've said to every rival, if you want me to back my club, I need you to come on the stream publicly and say Man United are the best team in Europe or Man United are the best team in the Prem, and then I'll back them. But no one wants to say that. It's like you want us to deludedly back our club at the same time as saying we're crap. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. Yeah, I mean, what about Man City though? How do you think Man City? I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Pep to win it, isn't there? With what he spent, the squad that he's got 2 seasons left now to do it. Do you think they've got a chance, or do you see him sort of bottling it again, essentially?
I think the lack of striker is the reason they didn't win it last season. Like if they had Kane, yeah, or Lukaku or Ronaldo, then they would have won it. Yeah, and I think that's going to be their problem again. Like I like watching Man City. I think they play quality football. They didn't really have a striker. I know they've got Gabriel Jesus, but is he that great? Like, is he in that top elite bracket? No. He's a good player. But I just think that Chelsea are clear of them, man. Like, for that competition. Overall in the league, I think City will win the league. Yeah, but I think in knockout competition, I think Chelsea are just going to have the edge because they've got that striker. But in the league overall, Pep knows how to win that league constantly. Yeah, and I think like last season they played without a striker really. I think Mahrez was false 9 at times, De Bruyne false 9, like Bernardo. He played about 5-6 players, Sterling. So I feel like they can do it in the league because he knows that he'll beat pretty much every team in the league this season. Like, the ones he'll lose maybe 2, 3, 4 games all season. Champions League, I just feel like when you need a big moment from a striker, I don't think they've got that. Like, they ain't got the striker to do it first and foremost. Jack Grealish, I love Mahrez to bits. But I just don't think. I don't know. Mahrez did it in the semi last year, but I just feel like this season it's gone up a level. Like with Chelsea getting Lukaku, you lot getting Ronaldo, and I feel that there's going to be a little twist somewhere in this Champions League where, you know, Ronaldo's going to come up against City or Lukaku's going to go up against like City, and it's going to be an English semi or an English quarter.
Yeah, I think English teams are all going to go unless they get each other. Well, they can't get each other to the quarters, so. The English teams are so strong. I see us going pretty deep. Of course, with PSG, Bayern Munich, it's going to be a great Champions League tournament, no doubt at all. But yeah, you can't write anyone off really. Thank you to 9-5 for becoming an official member of the channel. Thank you. Arjun says, "Who is your Arsenal starting 11? And where do they need to improve still?"
I'd recall Saliba and Guendouzi straight away. But obviously I can't. But if I could, then they're in, mate. Like both of them walk in. But for now, I don't really know. The goalkeepers, Leno, I've never really rated. I don't particularly rate Ramsdale at all. But we'll see. So you can flip a coin on them two. The right back, Tomiyasu looked all right, but I'd still rather Maitland-Niles there. I know what he can do week in, week out. Left back, Tierney walks in all day long. Centre backs. Like I said, I'd go Saliba and Gabriel, but I can't. So I'm going to have to go with Ben Scheidt and Gabriel. And I don't rate Ben White one bit. I think he's useless. Midfield, Lokonga and Partey. I don't want Xhaka anywhere near it. I'd play Smith Rowe number 10. I wouldn't play Gibraltar guard there. Right wing, I'd go Saka. I think he plays better on the right than the left. And then I'd go Pepe left and Aubameyang up front. But you've then got Martinelli off the bench. I suppose you've got Laka off the bench. Our squad's not amazing. I can't lie. It's pretty poor. But I feel like if we had a better transfer window and bought some players that are more ready for now, Maddison, for example, Basuma, bring Guendouzi back, bring Saliba back, you know, I thought we would have been flying with that, but obviously not.
There we go. Chances Chelsea re-sign Rudiger? That's a random question. That's a real random one, but... yeah.
Why not?
There we go. Wade here, thank you for the brilliant donation. Says Cristiano will do all the coaching. He's ready. He's already saved Delo's career at United. Guess like Di Matteo in 2012. It can be done. I mean, it can be done. I think everyone would admit that. I feel like United could win it, but the one thing they would need to happen is a number of the other favourites to knock each other out, like a good draw. Do you get, sometimes that can happen where, we get...
Well, tonight Barca are playing Bayern, aren't they? They're in the same group.
Yeah, so what we probably need is a big boy or two to go out in the group stages, and then in the last 16, a couple of big teams to knock each other out, and then you're almost in a stage where you think, well, actually, there's only 2 or 3 teams better than us.
Like when Arsenal, Chelsea, Monaco and Porto were in the... Yeah, so then you can just sneak through and win it. It would be epic. I can't lie. If you won it, with Ronaldo coming back in his first season, I mean, that'd just be a joke. Like, you just couldn't write it. It'd be mad.
It would be. I mean, even winning the Prem in its 30-year anniversary, like there's all these little things that are going on where you think, wow, it could be massive. It could be big. I'm just excited about it. What it would add to the Ronaldo Messi debate, like it would be great. Di Matteo did it with Chelsea. Explain that, Lee. It's from famous D. Rothschild. Rothschild.
Kind of ironic that he paid for that comment as well. With that surname. But yeah, the difference between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Di Matteo, number one, they were already out the group stage, Chelsea. So it weren't like they were going through a group stage. And we see last season, Ole got knocked out at the group stage. So there you go.
There we go. Man like Skills here says rank Ozil, Fabregas, and Santi.
Well, for Arsenal, happy days. Ozil's last. Yeah.
Really?
Well, for Arsenal, Did you not watch Fabregas? Fabregas is a baller, right? I don't care what anyone tells me. You can clip that. You can put that on socials, and I'll take all the flack again. Yeah, because I'm telling you now, for Arsenal Football Club, yeah, Ozil's bottom out of them three. It's Fabregas, Santi, and Ozil. Yeah, what did he do for us? You can throw assist stats at me all you like, mate. Yeah, you can throw them all you like. Whoever passed the ball to Damari Gray last night got an assist. Yeah. He pinged it 30 yards, top bins against Burnley. Yeah. So you can bang on about created chances. Nicola Pepe created 6 at the weekend. I think 4 of them were corners. Yeah. So let's not talk about these dodgy stats. Yeah. Let's have a look and use your eyes and see what they did. Fabregas was unbelievable. One of the best midfielders we've ever had. Yeah. And Santi Cazorla, rather he can nutmeg a mermaid in a telephone box, brother. He's that good. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Hang on, don't be offensive to mermaids. I'm trying to think of anyone else. You're going to clip up for that. No, I can't believe it. But you know what I mean? He's having a go at half fish, half people. Lee, are people overrating the Invincibles?
I don't know. The one thing I do know is people still bang on about it 17 years later because we've never won one since. So maybe on that respect, but I don't know. They were unreal, man. They were sick. Like Bergkamp, Omri, like they were just a joke. Vieira, that team was just unbelievable, man. But
your goat in that team.
Yeah, Bergkamp.
Bruv, Sports Bible. Everyone wrote an article about that. I couldn't believe it.
The funny thing about it was, if you read the comments on the video last week, all the comments on here are sweet. You go and read all the comments on that clip that did the rounds that you edit, you edited it into a 2-minute clip. You didn't chop it up. I know you didn't, yeah. But you go and read all the comments. It's like people had the knives out. They want to slap me and all sorts. It's like, wow.
I just sort of look at it like this. I mean, I don't mind people disagreeing with other people, but it was like 95% of the responses. They didn't debunk what you said. They just said bullshit. It's like, okay, but say something. Say something.
No, 95% of the responses had never seen all 3 of them play, mate. Cannot sign 92 for United. So if you ain't seen the player play, you can't have a go, can you?
Yeah. The comment here says, Lee, can we agree that since joining the Prem, Nicolas Pepe has proven that he's nothing more than Jovino with a hairline?
Can I just say, yeah, do you rate Saka, Vitu? Because I always see this, yeah. Arsenal fans especially do this. I know rivals always take the mick out of Pepe, yeah. But a massive majority, yeah, a massive majority.
What are you about to say? What are you about to say?
No, listen. Pepe's got an output, mate. You said earlier, no goals in 18 games for Saka. Tell me how many Pepe scored in 18.
I don't know. More?
Well, yeah.
So I don't want to put words. Are you saying that Pepe is better than Saka?
If you're looking at output, then yeah. What's like? Listen, I'm not knocking Saka, by the way. He's 6 years younger. Yeah, because I know you're clipping this. Your eyebrows are like, "Oi, I can clip this one as well."
It's not about clipping it. It's like I want to understand the opinion, like, and then I want to share it with the world so that what I
find funny is people sit there and they rate players, yeah, right, on output. We've already had this debate, yeah, with Ronaldo and Messi and stuff like that, yeah. But then when you give a player like Pepe, you put his output out there. Oh no, that's no good because he's not as good as Saka, who's not really got that much output. Well, why is he not better? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody give me a proper argument as to why Bukayo Saka is better than Nicola Pepe then? Because if it's just on stats and our fans love a stat and an assist, they made a career out of Ozil for assists, yeah? Well, Pepe was our top goal contributor last season in the whole team. So what, is he a bad player now then? I don't get the hate for Pepe. I really don't. And at the same time, we've already agreed earlier that Saka is massively overrated by our fans. But I do think that that's down to the manager not doing what's required with him as well. Like, he should be resting him here and there. He shouldn't be relying on him week in, week out. He's played about 12 different positions for us. I know that's impossible before people say there's only 11.
No, I do hear you on that. Macavilla here says Ollie has beaten Pep 4 times, Tuchel twice, Jose twice, Klopp once. It's a myth he can't beat the top managers.
When did he beat Tuchel?
When he was
weren't at Chelsea.
PSG, when he was at PSG.
Oh, well, there you go then. Come on. That weren't at Chelsea, was it?
True. Hello, guys. Keep up the good work from... I can't read that.
Roscommon. Also, he only beat Klopp in the cup. He didn't beat him in the league. He beat him in the FA Cup, didn't he?
True. Yes.
Hmm.
That Javinho.
So basically, Ollie's a cup manager, is what you're saying, my friend. That's yeah.
The Javinho chat sent me off my cherries. That's man like Sam does my intros. Big up. So I need to reach out to you, Sam. We need an intro for Straight Facts. So I'm going to reach out to you about that. We need to get that done. So there we go. I mean, look, listen, mate. It's going to be interesting. This thing, right? This new microphone is too light for the arm, and like if I touch it, it just flies up in the air. It's mad. I nearly knocked myself out the other day with a microphone. It's crazy. Roscommon is a place in Ireland, Terry. That guy is Irish. Just like you, man, like Prime. What you saying, Prime? All good. Lee, I appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. Same well, but maybe a bit later next week. We only went earlier because Man United are kicking off at like 5:45, which is absolute madness, bro. Appreciate you coming on. Everyone, go and subscribe to Lee's channel. The link for it is it's literally in the title. Go click on it. It's in the title. It's his name. Go and subscribe to Lee Gunner's channel. Smash the like button before you leave as well. To all of the super chatters, all of our new members today, all of our current members and the viewers, thank you very, very much indeed. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. Right. Oh, we've got another super chat came in right at the 11th hour there. You know, when you get them ones.
I was seeing you ready to press the button. I was like, I'm getting that Arteta out in before you end.
Lee, would you swap the invincible titles to a normal title and change the invincibility to a Champions League?
Did the bear shit in the woods? Come on. A title's a title. The next season, Chelsea got more points. So was their team better? Man City got 100 points. Was their team better?
Bruv, I'd win the Premier League with 38 points this season. I know it's impossible. I'm being exaggerated. If we did an FA Cup and Premier League double, and we won the Premier League, let's do it be sensible, with 71 points. That's a better season than Liverpool winning just the Prem with 99 points because you've won 2 trophies.
And this is why I always put the Invincibles further back than the double teams, that we did in 98 and 02 because we won 2 trophies that season. So they were a better team.
No, 110%, brother. And that's, Claude had been on the show about a year ago, maybe a year and a bit ago. And he was saying that, arguing that the 2 double winning teams, Arsenal's 2 double winning teams were like better than the Invincibles. And again, younger fans were just like, how can it be? But there we go.
They never see the Invincibles, Terry. They just latched onto it about 4 years later when they realised, Arsenal just missed out in the Champions League final. Oh my God, they won a gold trophy. Oh, look, they've got Wenger as manager. Come on, they've never seen it.
That's it, man. Listen, viewers, smash that like button before you leave. I'm back after Man United's game and Chelsea's game today with full match reviews. Until then, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all.